Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Your Kids podcast. And I'm excited today. I know I say that a lot, but I am. I really am. Excited. Today we have Satoria with us. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Satoria Holland.
Yes, yes. Tell us what you do, homeschool mom.
So I am a full-time homeschool mom. I have been homeschooling my children for 3 years now. I have always desired to be a homeschool mom. I'm talking about ever since I was a kid. I was like, I'm going to homeschool my kids. My kids are not going to go to school because I hate school. I hated school. And not for nothing, but I could not learn the things that I really desired to learn in school. I was put in a box often in school. So I homeschool my children. But my main focus is self-love, self-care, and women
Yes.
wellness. And I focus on my single mamas, even though I'm not a single mama anymore. But my focus is single moms, providing them resources and giving them the encouragement and motivation to know that they are capable of everything.
Yes, you and tell us the name of your organization, your brand.
It is Love You Louder, and my website is
Yes.
loveyoulouder.org.
I love that name. I told you, I love that name. Yes, love you
Look,
louder.
and I did it for me. You got to love you louder. You have
Yes,
to.
ma'am.
You have
That's
to. You have to put yourself first. You cannot pour from an empty cup, not into your family, not into your friends, not into your kids. You gotta love yourself.
yes, yes, because it starts with you. It starts with you. And
Yes,
like
it
you said, you
does.
you homeschool, you want your kids to want to be at home with you. So you have to be at a good
Mm-hmm.
space. You have to have good energy because you want them to enjoy the process. So yes, I love all
Exactly.
of that. And you know it, like, because you are a big inspiration. I tell you all the time, the energy that you
Thank
put out
you.
through Facebook and just everything that you do, it's just very beautiful. It's so beautiful to see the encouragement, the pouring out into, especially your group focus, because you know us single mamas need it. We definitely need it. So
Yes.
that is beautiful. But even though you booed up, husband up, you still relate and understand it is
But look,
needed.
like I be telling my husband, I be like, you everybody's boo. You I be having him
You
help
sharing.
everybody.
Yes. Yes, you sure brought him to the expo. Like,
Yep.
come
Yep.
on. What you need?
Yes, we need his
Yes.
muscles. We need his muscles. And like I told him, it's not a lot of good men out here.
Yes.
And so with my husband being, one of few, I encourage him to mentor my children's sons, spend time with
Yes.
them, just give back. This week we got to go and help one of my friends put her mailbox in the
Oh,
ground. My husband got to go
nice.
take the auger
Oh,
over there, and he got to drill a hole in her ground, and we gonna put some cement down, and we gonna put her mailbox in. She
girl,
just
you
bought a
sharing and
house. She's a
caring
single
all the way
woman who just.
around.
That's right. That's right. God ain't blessed me with him to be selfish.
Yes, I love that. So you said before you even kids were thought of in your world, you was like, I'm homeschooling my kids.
I'm homeschooling my kids. Yes.
Why? You said you
Yes.
did not like school. What was going on?
I mean, I just felt like the teachers didn't really care about me. Like you do have some caring teachers, but it's not a lot. And then just like, I mean, teachers have favorites. There's favoritism in schools. There was a lot of bullying in school. It was just like, and I didn't care for all the drama that was in school. Like I've always been the person to just hate drama, but drama always found me. And I was like, if my mom would homeschool me, then I wouldn't be going
Mm.
through all of this. Like I literally used to get called down to the office because I told somebody that I won't go be their friend. And the principal would tell me, well, you can't just say that you're not going to be people's friend. You have to be their friend.
Why not?
No, I don't. I'm
Yeah,
not here to make
listen.
friends. I'm here for education. Like, why am I telling you this as a student, like as a child? I am here for my education. I am not here to make
Focus.
friends.
Yes.
And but let me tell you, even going into cosmetology school, I dealt with the same thing. I
Mm.
dealt with, like I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do hair, to learn how to do what I need to do and to get through it. I got called into the office in cosmetology school for the same thing
Not as
because
an
I'm not
adult.
here to make friends as an adult. I was a young adult. I was a young adult. I was about 19 years old. But, like, I was just like, it never stops.
Yeah, they say you can't reserve that energy, girl. Your friendship is needed. We need you.
And let me throw this out there. My daughter just swore in yesterday into the Marine Corps
Oh,
with her homeschool credentials.
oh, nice.
With her
Yes.
homeschool credentials. So, like, people are like, oh, how can you go into the military if you're homeschool? You can. You
Yes.
can. Very
Yes.
possible.
I love that. Thank you for putting that out there. How many do
Yes.
you homeschool?
So I currently homeschool 5.
Mm,
Last year was 6.
mm.
But I just had a senior graduate out. So I'm
Okay.
currently homeschooling 5. I have one in the 8th grade, and then I have 2 that are technically in the 1st grade, but they're on like 3rd and 5th grade material. And then I have a kindergartner, and I have I call him my pre-K student, but he kind of like in the 1st, 2nd grade,
Nice.
like, because you can work with them based on their skill level.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's individualized and you can start where they are at as opposed to
Yeah,
a standard or curriculum or pacing guide that's telling you, oh, you need to start here. What does your day look like?
exactly. So I get up super early. I get up with my husband. My husband gets up around like 5 o'clock because he has to be to work by 6:30. So I normally try to get up sometimes before him because what I realize is my energy really does control the household.
Mm,
So if I wake up with bad energy, everybody having a bad day.
yes.
The whole house having a bad day. So I do my best to wake up, before my husband wakes up. Sometimes I try to wake up like 4:30 so I can meditate, get myself together. So then by the time he wakes up at 5, I'm chippery, I'm up. Good morning, hon, whatever.
Yes.
You know, get his day started great. I do my meditation, my reading. I do a lot of reading in the morning. And then by I want to say 6, I'm working on my business from 6 to 7. And then by 7 o'clock, I'm cooking breakfast for the kids to wake them up by 8. Breakfast from 8 to 9. And then we school time from 9 to 10. And then we break it up throughout the day. Like, I don't make my kids school for like 8 hours at a time. I am very like unstructured. And the reason why I'm unstructured is because I make everything a teaching moment.
Yeah.
So my kids are learning at 5 o'clock. They're learning at 7 o'clock. They're learning at 10 o'clock at night if we're still up. They're learning on the weekends because we're taking vacations. We have a membership to the zoo.
Oh,
And
nice.
with the zoo membership, and we also have a membership to the YMCA. So with both of those, the YMCA does a lot of membership swaps with other companies, so we get to go like a lot of different places for free with our memberships. And so I get them out so many different places that it's no point in making them sit somewhere for 8 hours.
Yes.
I didn't learn like that.
Yes.
So I don't want to force them to learn like that. Now, my one of my twins, my son Aiden, he loves documentaries. He loves documentaries. So he will literally, like, after like they finish up with school, he'll be like, "Mom, can I find something to watch on the TV?" When he asks me to find something to watch, it's always a documentary. It's always
That is
so
awesome.
he's schooling himself on
Yes.
his own terms. I'm not
Yes.
making him study a specific thing. I'm not making him do what I want him to do. I'm actually figuring out what he's interested in, which is how we figured out that he's really into marine biology. He's
Mm,
really into ocean animals and oceanography. So I've been able to pick up oceanography books, pick up marine biology books, and really give him material that focuses in the areas that he want to be in. With my
nice.
daughter, because I'm a certified sound healer and a spiritual coach. My other twin, she likes meditation, she likes yoga, she likes sound healing. So we've actually dived into getting her certifications at 5 years old.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Yeah, I saw you
so
had her in front of them bowls. I did see that. Yes, I
and
love
she begged,
that.
she begged to play them
Oh,
bowls, because one thing about it is I don't want them doing things just because I'm doing it.
yes.
I really want to make sure you're doing what you want to do because you are an individual.
Yes.
And I'm able to give all of them individual. learning plans, learning styles, different parts of me. Like even with my stepson, he comes, I get him 1 week on, 1 week off.
Mm,
So my teaching style with him has to be a little different because his focus, his attention span is light. So with him, when I do my hour of teaching with him, we literally switch subjects like this,
mm.
like his brain, because that's how his brain works. But then when his father gets home, his dad's like, "What did you learn today?" And he literally has retained everything that I taught
Everything.
him,
Oh,
and
nice.
is excited about it. So it's awesome. I love it.
Yes. And so with you having him 1 week on and 1 week off, his mother homeschools him too?
So she does not. She does
Okay.
not homeschool. She actually does not even agree to homeschool.
Oh, okay.
She wants to put him in public school. However, she gonna have to fight me, not
Oh,
physically. Um, Not physically. However, I have a lot of support when it comes to
yeah.
homeschool. Like have a lot of friends who actually work in the public school system who have written letters on my behalf, to speak for me and things like that. And I advocate very well as a homeschool parent.
Yes.
So when people try to put homeschool down, I'm gonna hit you with the facts. You with why it's so much better for your child and why you should
Yes.
be an active participant instead of fighting me. I'm going to tell you all of the benefits for your child. And not only am I going to tell you the benefits, but I'm going to be able to show you the benefits.
Yes.
And you can't
Yes.
you can't argue. You can't argue with facts. You can't argue with what it is. So I hope that one day she gets on the same page, and see that it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. And I would love to help her, um get focused into homeschooling and learning. And like I told her, even if it's not for you, I'm so open to him just being here for school and going back home,
Yeah.
because it's just so much you got to worry about with public schools now, not to just be like, oh, public schools are bad, but like you got to worry about shootings. You got to worry about kids having guns in school these days. You got to worry about if you have a little girl, her butt getting touched. You even got to
Mm,
worry about little girls lying on your son and saying that your son did something to them that he didn't do. And now your son has criminal charges pressed on him because some little girl was taught to lie, and get your son in trouble. It's just so many different legalities when it comes to the public school system. That scares me. And then I remember maybe it was like 10 years ago, I was having a conversation with someone, and they work for the public school system, and they were telling me that they actually change the learning curriculum every 7 years.
mm,
Like the way they teach things, like I'll use multiplication for example, because that's like a big one. We learn multiplication one way, but our kids is learning multiplication a completely different way. And then a few years from now, those kids are going to be learning how to do it a completely different way, to the point where when your kids come home and they're like, "Mom, help me with this math problem," and you're excited to help your kid with this math problem, and you're like, "Oh, you do it like this and you do it," and the answer is right, but then
mm.
you send that paper back to school and your child still gets a zero because you didn't do it the way that they were taught. So
Yeah. And
they
I think
still
that's the wildest
fail.
thing ever. That core math or whatever. I
So
believe
I
it's that.
so I so I asked the questions that most people don't ask. Why y'all do that? Why do y'all change it up? And the person responded to me and said it's to bridge a gap between parents and children.
Mm,
So when the child gets home and they ask the parent for help and the parent can't really help them, you old school mom, you old school dad, you don't know what you're doing. We don't do it like this no more. Now you're
mm.
arguing with your child inside of the household. So now it's psychological, it's mental. So it's so much deeper than just the education for me.
Oh yeah, as it should be. No, I'm a former teacher, so I definitely agree. And I always give the disclaimer too, like I'm not trying to talk that down on public school because public school definitely works for some. However,
And some kids need public school, especially if they, have a parent that's not that caring or not as attentive. I do believe that those kids are better off in school. However, if you can homeschool your kids, if you can give your kids 100%, like you're going to have a better relationship with them. You're going to know them way more than what you would have known sending them away for 8 hours a day, because you're putting them in someone else's hands. And not only are you putting them in someone else's hands, but you're also leaving it up to them to be influenced by their peers, and
Big
I think back to
influence.
when I was I think back to when I was a child. Like, my friends used to try to peer pressure me to do things all the time. Like, I had friends in middle school looking at me like I was crazy because I was still a virgin. Like, you still a virgin? And in middle school,
I remember those
like,
conversations.
in middle school, you're making me I'm corny because I didn't have sex with Joey,
That's
you
right.
know? It was crazy to me. I actually, in middle school, I cried because one of my friends' moms took them out of the school, and because she got pregnant in middle school. And her mom said it was because she was hanging around me.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even lose my virginity until I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Well,
wasn't me.
parents
I
have
wasn't.
to, they gotta point the finger out because they don't want to point it in, and they gotta find a reason, because my child would never do that. I remember
But
conversations
our
with,
children do. But our
oh
children do.
yes,
Like, you did. And
yeah.
that's what blows my mind when I'm talking to some adults and they're like, my child would never. I'm like, well, what did you do when you were your child's age?
It's
Do
like they
you not remember?
forget. Yeah,
Do
it's
you
like
not
they
do you
forget.
do you not remember that when your mom told you you couldn't do something, you found a way to do it anyway? You had an extra outfit in your bag. You would listen to it on your friend's phone, or you would do it on your friend's phone because you couldn't do it on your phone. Like,
Yeah,
that's why I
no.
didn't want my kids to go to school. Like, I know what I did.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it's a multitude of things that occur in the public school building that parents definitely need to be more privy to and open to understanding and talking
You
to their
know,
kids about it.
something else I found weird. The high school that I went to, I graduated from Green Run High School. I want to say at least 5 teachers from my high school have went out for either mental health issues or messing with
That's
underage children.
yes, ma'am.
And I remember one teacher in particular, he failed me. He failed me. 11th grade English, he failed me. I won't say his name, but it's online because he got fired. But he failed me, and I had to take 11th and 12th grade English my 12th grade year in high school, but it was because I wasn't one of the students who would mess with him. And I'm gonna tell you what was funnier. He passed my baby daddy, who ended up being my husband at the time. He passed him, and I was confused to how he passed because I used to do all his homework.
Not y'all turning in the same
How he
assignments in different grades.
how he passed and I failed, and I'm doing both of our work, and we in the
Yes.
same class with the same teacher.
Oh, the teacher preference is really real. Like that's a real thing. And a lot of teachers have a lot of mental things going on themselves that they're not dealing with. Even conflict wise, not being able to handle conflict in general. And like you said, holding grudges and putting it off on those kids' grades. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, there's a lot of power that comes with that position. And not everyone's using it for the greater good, definitely. And so it's sad
Like,
and it's
I've
alarming.
even had to. My first marriage up separating because we just weren't on the same page. I really wanted to homeschool my children, and he wasn't in agreement with that. And one situation that I remember, my son was in elementary school. He was in like first or second grade, and he took home an eraser from his desk. And the teacher told my son that she was going to call the police on him for
What?
taking home the eraser. And I went off. I snapped.
What in the world?
I snap. Like, he is in elementary school. He is a little black boy. You are a black teacher, and you are telling him that you're going to call the police on him, and you're a young teacher. Like, me and her had to be around the same age. I fussed that lady out so bad. They told my children's father that they didn't want me to come back up to the school anymore.
Of course. Of course. But did
And
they
now
address
those
her?
children,
did they address her talking about calling the police on a child?
And to
Mm,
this day, my boys, they live with their father. They're still in public school, and I do see a huge difference in them and my children that I homeschool.
of course.
It's a big, big difference
Of course.
in mannerisms, everything. It's a huge difference.
That's the first thing I thought about. Like, cause you gotta understand, these kids go to school and adopt whole different personalities. Like they're totally different beings than what you are used to them being because they have to. They got to fit into the character that works for their peers. Cause that's what trumps everything. And
Mm-hmm.
bullying is, at an all-time high. Like everybody got something to say about somebody, even down to the teachers, even the
And it's
maintenance,
sad
the faculty,
because,
whatever. Yes.
and people are bullying because of their own mental health issues,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
which
ma'am.
needs to be addressed more in public schools. Mental health should really be a priority. Like I really feel like for public schools, they should incorporate daily meditation, daily yoga,
Yes.
daily sound healing. I feel like that's so necessary for public schools, for them to stay in a good direction.
Yes, ma'am. That would help. That would definitely help a lot. Because we want to reach them academically, but like spiritually and mentally, these kids are so spent, like they're not there. So you trying to teach them something is not going to
They
get
can't
through
even be
because
present. They can't even be present. Yeah.
yes, ma'am, it's
They're
not
not
going to
present
get
to
through.
learn.
Mm-hmm.
They're worried
And
about what's going to happen when they get home, or who about to joke their shoes, or who about to joke their outfit. Oh, my hair not done,
yes,
so these people going to talk about me. My mom didn't get to wash my jeans, so they stink, or whatever. Like that's the focus. School
yes,
school is
ma'am.
not school.
Yeah,
It's more like a
no,
fashion show and a who got what. You know what I'm saying? And even parents trying to show off things that they don't really have,
yeah.
trying to
Oh,
prove a point to
yes.
who, because your kids don't even really care about that stuff. Like my son don't want the new Jordans. He want the new Jurassic Park 2.0s that light up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he want.
The 2.0s. Yes. No, I
Like
don't think parents realize how much they shape their children's like their awareness of brands and the hottest things. Like your kid wouldn't know nothing about that if that wasn't you. I know my friend was talking about how his little boy came to the park fresh to like just fresh. Little boy couldn't have been no more than like 4 or 5. And his dad got to fussing because he was messing up his clothes. And it's like he's at the park. Like you do know that he came to play, right? So it's like where are parents with some of these
don't get no
things?
crease in your shoes. Don't get no. Like it's like don't
Yes,
get no crease in your shoes. Like
yes.
what?
Yes,
What?
because you decide to buy him $100 pair of shoes at 5 years old, as if he shouldn't still
My son,
play.
my son literally, he has Jordans, he has Jurassic Parks. Every time it's time to go, and I say, go put your shoes on, he puts on his Jurassic Park shoes.
Because those are his
Every single
favorites.
time. Them, he's like,
He's never seen Michael Jordan
they
play. He
don't
don't know
care.
nothing. He ain't got no correlation there. Know nothing about that. Like
He don't
I don't
care.
know. It's the interesting, but that's a trauma. That's I didn't get it, so I got to make sure my children have it, and this is where I'm gonna place the value at. I always talked about parents feeling like they handle their peers just like their children handle their peers. They try to please them. They try to show off for them. They try to show them like, oh, okay, my child got the newest iPhone. It's like, okay, but your child isn't doing well in school right now, but you got all this good fancy stuff. So when are we going to try to address
You're not
or
teaching them, you're not
fix
teaching
or
them no accountability. You're not teaching them no accountability. You're not teaching them that you got to work for things. Like things don't just come, like they don't. That's not how life works. It just doesn't. And I remember like when I got out into the world, I was like, this is what the world is like. Like I was so green to so much because my mom was very materialistic, like super
mm,
materialistic to the point where I was questioning her. Like, why do I have a Banana Republic t-shirt and Express jeans?
mm.
Like I'm in the ninth grade. Like I don't care about this. Like I want to go to 579 and shop where all my friends are shopping at. Like at 579, you buy a shirt for $5 and you get another shirt for a penny. Like that's how so my mom, we used to live across the street from the mall when I was in high school. So I would take the stuff back and go get the stuff that I wanted.
Oh yeah, you'd be able to get a bunch of more if she's shopping in Express and Banana Republic, and you taking it and going, yeah, girl, you was coming up.
I
You
was
got a
coming up.
whole
Okay. I had
wardrobe compared
outfits
to
for
two
a whole
outfits.
I had outfits for 2 months. Okay.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
because why are you in Express jeans is so stiff? Like they're not even comfortable. Like, why are you buying me these? Because they're name brand? We're paying for a label. Like, I want to share something. Do people know that Uggs and Bear Paws is made in the same factory by the same people?
Oh, there's a lot of those shoes like that. My one of
You can
my
you can get a pair. You can get a pair of Bear Paws for $30, but you're gonna pay $150 for the Uggs.
yeah. Yeah, no. It's the same thing with cars. Like how Toyota is the same thing as what? Alexis, I want to say.
Lexus,
Like,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
And like that's the same thing. And I feel like people are becoming more aware of things, especially with social media and all that good stuff, and people doing those type of comparisons and whatnot. It's still not quite registering though. Um, there's still a
Yeah.
huge infatuation with name brands that half of us can't even spell or know anything about, or even though,
Because I mean,
it's
these little girls at school with these back to school pictures with the Marc Jacob tote. I'm like, I don't even have one, but okay.
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I don't
they
even
got a lot
want
of
one
stuff that I
though.
ain't had. I used to tell them all, oh, you fancy?
And
Oh,
then
you
it's like I'm also trying to figure out like where the public school is going with like the way that they're letting children dress now. Like we were
fancy?
not allowed to dress like that. Like we were not allowed to wear crop tops. We were not allowed, like our shorts had to be down to our middle fingertip. Remember that? And like it
Yes.
used to suck if you had long arms or long fingers
That was
because your
me.
shorts basically had to be
To my
you
knees.
basically
Yeah.
had to wear Bermuda shorts. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like you
Capris.
couldn't even wear shorts.
Yes, yes, ma'am. But I think schools are
Like,
choosing their battle now. Because it's so many. It's so many. And it's like the parents argue this too. It is not just the child arguing for them to wear crop tops and slides. The parents are arguing this too. Same thing with the phones. Like the parents are, I paid for that type of deal. So they should be able to
so
wear or
what? So
have.
what? So what? So what? You're sending them to school. We have rules here, and y'all aren't going to come and change our rules. Like, do I got to be the school superintendent too? Like, why are we letting people come and just change rules? Like, life has rules. So what? We just get to break all the rules now?
Well, technically, yeah, because
I'm watching. I'm talking about I'm watching on so many levels, and not even just with the schools. Beyond the
Mhm.
schools, the world is falling. It's falling. And like, if we don't homeschool our kids for anything, we should be homeschooling them because it's scary out here.
It's real. I definitely say it's real out there. I don't know. It's just there's definitely a lot going on. And with your child being home, you're able to process it more, talk to them more, prepare them more, things of that nature, as opposed to them being in a building for seven and a
Yeah.
half hours and
And
trying.
I do feel that it's still important for them to be around their peers, which is why we have them at the YMCA. They play AAU basketball. They're in different sports. Norfolk, Virginia has a homeschool PE group now.
Oh,
Where
nice.
you can either pay $100 for the month and you can go unlimited, or you can do $10 for drop-ins.
Oh, that's dope.
So yeah, and I'm gonna send you that flyer too, so you can add it to your website. Reach out to
Yes.
them, let them know who you are. Any homeschool stuff that I find out here, I'm always gonna be sending it your way, because people need to know what's out here and what exists, and it's hard for
Yes.
everybody's not on social media, and you
Yes.
have an app, so people can literally download your app and see what's what, you know. And my
Yeah.
next thing that I'm looking for is to find out how to get us funded as homeschool parents. And
Yes.
if
Do
they're
y'all
not going to
have the
fund us,
y'all don't have the ESA
we
there?
don't have it yet. But I also like, I feel like the public schools, you know, we have to register with them. So why can't we get free books? Why can't we get the
Mm,
free materials and the books that y'all are working with the students with? Why can't we have those things at home? Why do we have to pay for those things? We shouldn't have to when we're already homeschooling our own children.
yeah, you're
So
absolutely right.
I'm definitely advocating for more resources for us out here in Virginia.
I know it. I know it. You use that voice, honey, and I love it. I love it. You are so
Hmm.
present and so open to helping others. It's beautiful. It really is. I want to talk more
It's a
on
gift
the
and a curse.
I know. Oh, I know. I want to talk more on the healing aspect and love you louder. Because I've seen
Okay.
you do some great events. You just did a recent one where you took some people out in the water. Tell us about that.
Oh, so that was actually a friend of mine who asked me to be a part of what she was doing um in the ocean, and
Yeah.
I played the sound bowls.
Yeah.
So like that was like super beautiful. I'm really excited about this event that I'm working on. I haven't even announced it yet, so this is the first
Oh.
announcement of it. So September 17th, I am having a inner child workshop for women,
Uh,
um, where we're gonna have crayons, Play-Doh, finger painting, just all those inner child things to bring out creativity and imagination. I'm gonna do a sound bath, and we're really gonna focus on healing our inner child and getting
yeah.
women just back in tune with that part of themselves. So whether they're a homeschool mom or a mom that sends their children to school, they're more in tune with how to tap in with their children and open up those doors for conversations and things like that, because we've been adulting for so long, we've been surviving for so long, that we forget what it's like to be a kid. We forget that being a kid is very stressful too. It's just as stressful as being an adult, you know.
Damn.
And so I really, you know, my place is to help women heal. Like that's my main goal. You know, people say, oh, children are the future. Children are the future, but who's raising the children?
Thank
Who's
you.
having the children?
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and then women blame men all day. Oh, the men, it's bad men out here, it's bad men. Who raised those bad men? A woman. A woman. So women women are my focus.
Yeah.
Women are my focus. Like I hold women accountable. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a certified spiritual coach. I'm a certified sound healer. I'm certified in, you know, chakras. I'm certified in a lot of spiritual topics. I'm very well versed. I would not consider myself to be a religious being. However, I am open to all religions. I can speak with anyone from any background. I can speak with anyone from any culture and relate to them. I'm a
Yeah.
very non-judgmental person. I'm a safe space. And
Yeah.
I really focus on people as individuals, because what works for me might not work for you. What worked for one of my other clients might not work for you. I really have to get to know people as individuals and work and work with them where they are. And that's my gift. It's a gift. I don't really know how to explain it, but I've been like this since I was a little girl. I'm talking about like elementary school,
Why you
standing
telling
up for
people that
people.
you didn't want to be with friends?
Yeah, like I don't I have always fought for the underdog. I always stand up to the bullies. I always it has to have a cause. It has to have purpose to it, or it's not fulfilling to me. Which is why I know that's what God designed me for. Like when God was building Satoria in his lab, he was like, you know, I'm gonna sprinkle her with compassion, empathy, you know, this and that, and she's gonna be that motherly person that takes care of women.
Yeah.
And that is what I do. I'm mother hen. I'm everybody's grandma. I have a grandma soul. I like to cook for people. I like to feed them. I like to sing for them. You know, but I went through a lot as a child, a lot. My mother was incarcerated majority of my life, off and on. For as long as I can remember, my mom had been getting locked up since I was in elementary school. And I did have a lot of love around me. I had a lot of community pour into me. So my life wasn't completely horrible. However, I missed out on things that I should have had. So it made me view life completely different. And just made me want to, one, be 100% involved with my children because I never got that from my mom. So I love being the mother that I did not get to have, and also learning that balance of not being a overbearing mom just because I didn't have, what I wanted to have in life. So, it took a lot. It's just a lot that got me to where I am. But my focus is definitely women are healing and different forms of healing. So, just got a residency at an art therapy studio, where they focus on art therapy. And I am the sound healer every month at this art therapy studio, where I go in and I play sound bowls. And then after I play the sound bowls, you get to paint pictures and do art. And then I walk around and I tell you what I see in your art, and focus on your healing and how I can help you heal, and what comes from that. And that's a gift. So I just, I'm just appreciative of my connection with God and the ideas that I get to be able to pour into others and finally live the life that I want to live, and have a partner who is equally yoked with me. And I tell my single mamas, okay, I was a single mama for 11 years before I found, or before me and my husband found each other, because I won't really say he found me or I found him. We found each other on a dating site. So we were both looking. But I don't feel that I found him until I really fully loved myself. I had created Love You Louder before I had even met him. And I loved all of me. Like, I wasn't even, I knew I wanted a husband, but I wasn't like, well, if I don't find him, life is over. It was just like, I'm not settling. I'm not going to settle for what I don't want. Like, I remember on our first date, I was like, I want to homeschool my kids. How you feel about that?
Get this out the way.
Hey. And it was like his eyes watered up. Like, yeah, my soulmate. Like, you want to do what? Like, you want to homeschool our kids? You want to take care of our home, and we instantly connected from there. Like, me just being upfront with what I was going to do. Like, I was like, I plan on quitting my job soon. I plan on running my business from home. I'm going to find a work from home job, and I'm going to homeschool my children. I'm going to figure it out by myself. Because, a lot of single moms are like, oh, you can homeschool because you have your husband. No, my husband goes to work every day. My husband goes to work every day. Okay, he is gone. Sometimes my husband has to go out of town for weeks at a time. And I don't post it on social media, one, because I don't want people to know that I'm home by myself. But I'm here by myself, like a single mama, getting support from my man from afar, which we all have that distraction, because men can be a distraction, but you just want that love. But I tell women to look for support, not just that love, not just that desire or that void that you feel like you're missing. Like, really look for support in the things that you really want to do, for yourself and for your children, and focus on your children. Like, it's very important to focus on your children. Like, your children are number one before that relationship. Like, yes, once you get married, your spouse is number one, but if that's not your spouse, your children come first. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
Big message. Yes.
Yeah. Because a lot, I put my boyfriends before my children in relationships, and that wasn't right. It was not the right thing. It wasn't the right thing to do. When I look back on that, I would have done things completely differently had I known better.
Yes. And I like that you always take accountability. Like, hey, I'm not talking from a space of judgment or like, oh, this is what you should do. Just let you know, look, this is my reflection, and I understand because I went through it. This was my experience, and I'm able to grow from it and share.
I feel like, I feel like that's why I also get a better reaction. Like, you know, when I'm talking to people, or like if I'm saying that thing that's kind of hard to swallow, you know, like I used to do this thing called cough syrup talk, because I know that
Oh,
when you take cough syrup, when you take Robitussin, it's disgusting.
mm-hmm.
However, you feel better after you take it.
Yes.
And I know that that's the type of medicine that I feed people. Like I feed you what you don't really want, but once you drink it, it's what you needed.
Yeah.
However, I feel like I have a gift in how I'm able to relate to people, because like you said, I take accountability in the things that I've been through. I'm not speaking from a place of ego, or from a place of I'm better than you. Like I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made a
Yes,
lot of
ma'am.
mistakes, you know, and I'm just in a space where I'm young. I know you're pretty young. I'm only 35 years old. 35
Yes.
years young. Let me correct
Yes.
myself. I'm 35 years young. And you know, I'm doing a lot at 35. I don't work.
Yes.
I left my job 2 weeks ago, and I'm
Yes.
never going back, never going back. never
I love
never
that.
go I'm not going back. You know, and my job loves me so much. Like I'm on an LOA, I'm on a leave of absence right now. And I've gotten a promotion since I've been gone. And I told them, I was like, you know, I appreciate the promotion, but if I can't work when I want to work, I'm not really going to be able to do this, because my focus is on my children and my household. And if I can wake up and my kids is still asleep, and I could come in for a couple of hours until they wake up, cool. But if I got to get permission to leave and do this and do that, get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
I will figure it out. And I feel like having blind faith has helped me out a lot too, with
That's what
everything that I want to
as
do.
you were talking, I said, this
Um,
is a faith walk. She's doing a faith
yeah,
walk.
like
That's what that is.
really, really trusting that everything is going to be taken care of regardless.
Yes.
Like the phone bill due Saturday, I don't have it. It's going to get paid though.
Yes.
It's good.
Yes,
It's, you know,
ma'am.
because like I don't really take care of a lot of bills. Like my bills are the phone bill, the light bill, groceries, and toiletries. Um, but I hit my husband up. I was like, I got some money. I was like, but I don't really want to spend it on a phone bill. So like, can we go DoorDash later or something? Like I'm gonna
Yes.
figure it out, but I'm not. It's so many ways to make money, you know, like it's just so many ways to make money that I'm not gonna stress myself out about, you know, what we can't do. My husband's job made him so mad yesterday. He was like, babe, I really think I'm about to quit. I was like, well, do what you
Mm.
gotta do. Like, we'll figure
Yes.
it out. We will figure it out.
I like the
We are
we.
not gonna we're not
Yes.
gonna be stressed out. We're not.
Yeah, you
We're
got to
just not.
definitely pick and choose what's worth it and what's not, because these jobs be jobbing and they be doing a lot.
And I
It's a
really
lot.
like my job was an experiment. I worked for my job for an entire year, and it was an experiment to see what I could get away with. I literally went from being a full-time employee to being part-time, and I made my own schedule.
Nice. Yes, because you're an asset. That's what people got to understand and remember. You're
Like,
the asset. They need
and then it got
you.
to the point where if I didn't feel like being at work that day, I would literally message my supervisor like, I'm not mentally here today, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of the day off.
Yes.
And they'll be like, you know, you can't keep doing this. I'm like, well, you know, if y'all are gonna fire me, that's fine.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
I'll just give you volunteer time off. Like they started bending for me.
Yep, because they're
Like
gonna
I
do
didn't.
that. You're the asset. You are needed.
So
Tell people I walk in
I
too many businesses that are got now hiring signs for the employees to feel like they're not the value there. Like you are needed.
and if you allow them to make you feel like that, that's how they're gonna treat you. They'll be like, oh, they don't think highly of themselves, so I can treat them like crap. But if you show a job that you think highly of yourself and you're an asset, they're gonna treat you as such.
Yes, yes, ma'am. It definitely begins with you, your mindset, and how
Mm-hmm.
you look. Yes, definitely how you
Yep.
look at things.
And then I want to throw out there, I do offer a free Zoom every Monday at 7 a.m. for women only.
Yes.
And it's just a meditation and motivation group, where we play
7 a.m.
songs.
Eastern time.
Yep. Yeah, 7 a.m.
Got
Eastern
to put that
time.
out there.
Yes.
That's why I don't join. Because
Cause you're out in, where are you at?
Arizona.
Arizona. I always
Yeah.
want to say Arkansas. I know it starts with the A. I'm like, she's in Arkansas. No, you are in
Haven't been there
Arizona.
yet. Look, I haven't been there yet.
You
Put
will
that
get
on the
there.
list. I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep
Yes, no.
speaking it.
Yes, yes. We've done some touring, girl, because we ended up in Iowa for a week, and I definitely didn't see myself being in
Wow.
Iowa this year, but that was cool. Look, that was
That
cool.
had to be cool.
Yeah. But do you see self-care as a priority or a luxury?
A priority.
I already knew the answer.
Self-care.
I just wanted you.
Yeah. Self-care is the necessity. Like, like I have to like make myself do little things, like even down to like Applebee's. They have a lot, they have half off appetizers, they have $5 drinks. I tell my husband we have to go on at least one date a week. Okay. And if we can't afford a fancy date, take me to Applebee's. We go spend $30. That is self-care.
Yeah.
Okay. That $30 that you spent that may have been coming out of your light bill, you can go get that back. Okay. But you can't get back your peace, your mental clarity. Like you can't. So
Time.
you have to pour into yourself. And everything is energy. If you don't pour into yourself, then you don't appreciate yourself. So how is the universe supposed to appreciate you if you don't appreciate you?
Big message.
You are a vibration. You get back what you put out. So if you feel like you're unworthy, then that's what you're going to get.
Yes, and you have 5 over there. So how do you make time for, well, you already spoke on it really because you wake up early. That's your
I
time.
wake up early. Also Sundays. Sundays are my days where I do events. And I plan out different things. And me and my husband, we just have a thing like where like he might come home one day and he'll see it all over my face. He'll be like, today was rough, wasn't it? I'd be like, yep. And I'm about to go take a ride. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll be back.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll
And
be back.
that's the importance of a balanced partner. So being able to
And,
recognize and see that.
And he's not like, where you going? He know I ain't going nowhere but to the Dollar Tree or Target to spend some money because retail therapy is a necessity for me as well.
Indeed.
Even if I just spend $20, like it makes me feel better. I don't even need the stuff. I might give it away, but I'm still gonna go buy it.
Yeah. And I know you do a lot of planting and gardening and herbs, and you got some chickens. Do you got some chickens? Got some chickens,
and
right?
I got chickens.
Yes.
I have pigeons. I have two
You
two
got some
sets of
pigeons over there.
and one of my one of my pigeons just had a baby and the baby hatched and the baby is a week old now.
Oh,
So
wow.
we have 2 sets of pigeons and then we have a baby pigeon and then we're also waiting on some chickens that we're about to get. But like some farmers, they won't give you the chickens until they're a certain age. So they just send us pictures of them to like update us, to let us, like, we're very involved. Like we be like, how are chickens doing today?
Yes.
What you feeding them? Is you loving on them? Because like our chickens are like family. We put love into them, and then like we have all these animals for our children, so they can learn things, so they can learn about them. Like right now they're learning about the pigeon's feather, special and unique they are, and learning like why pigeons stay within a certain vicinity, like how they home themselves, things like that. Like my kids ask questions that the average first grader is not asking, and I'm so excited about it, and I'm so excited that I get to answer those type of questions for them. Like yesterday I was in the kitchen cooking and my daughter was like, how they make sausage? I was like, you really want to know?
Right.
I was like, because it's kind of gross.
Yeah, I showed my girls a hot dog video and they still eat them, but
yeah,
it was supposed to be like too. A little scared straight straight session.
I told my daughter yesterday that we was gonna eat our chickens in the backyard. She was like, why? I was like, because they're gonna be the most delicious chickens you ever had. Like that's the first reason why. Because I hug our chickens and I love our chickens, and they're filled with love. And once they stop producing eggs, they're gonna be a good bird on the dinner table, and then we're gonna get more birds.
How she feel about that?
She was just like, And then she was like, "We gonna eat them?" I was like, "Yes, we're gonna eat them." And she was like, I said the same, and then I showed her a pack of chicken in the freezer. And I was like, "We didn't grow these chickens, so we don't really know what type of love was put in them.
Yeah.
We don't
Or
I was like,
food.
that's probably why you wake up crying sometimes, because the person that raised these chickens was probably a crybaby."
Putting it on the chicken. Oh my gosh. Yes, no, that's beautiful because I know you're heading toward a homesteading lifestyle where you living off
Mm-hmm.
what's around you, and I love that for
Yeah,
you.
we're definitely trying to go off grid. I'm definitely, that's my next step. So like we're taking baby steps. Like we don't want to culturally shock our children.
Yeah.
So we moved them from out the city to the country. And then from the country, we're going to move further out into the country,
Yeah.
to where we don't have any neighbors. And then from there, I eventually want to move completely off grid. And
Gotcha,
I want to start
gotcha.
our own community.
Yes. I love that. I love
That's
that.
that's our next step, is and it's like I said, it's going to be a process. Like we're probably not going to be completely off grid until I'm 50, and I'm only 35 right now. So it's
Yeah.
not like I'm
Your audio went out.
now,
Okay.
by year 5, the goal is to have the farm.
Yeah.
By year 10, the goal, year 10, year 15, the goal is to be off grid with the tiny home community. And it might happen sooner than that, because we already have people reaching out to us to build tiny home communities with them. So
Nice.
it may happen sooner than later. But that's how I foresee our plan.
Awesome. Yes. There's steps to it, steps and levels,
Yes.
and it's okay to go through those. Social media show it like the finished product of a lot of times and don't see the many baby steps that got
And
you
still
there.
still healing. Like I go to weekly therapy still, like, because people are like, what do you? I therapy. My therapist has a therapist. Like therapy is a necessity. Like it's a necessity, especially when you're raising your vibrations and you're changing your lifestyle, and you're doing things differently than other people. A lot of discouragement comes because people are afraid of what you're doing, so you get a lot of negative conversation by default. So therapy helps me stand in my power and stay authentically me without molding to what's around me.
Yes. Yes, yes, that's important. And yes, the negative talk is there. People are afraid of change. They're afraid of what they don't know about. And so the showing is definitely better. That's why I love and adore you, because your presence is so heavy on social media and
I tell
public.
people I be scared. I be shaking in my boots sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna
But
do it though. That's
yeah.
me. I'm gonna do it. Scared and all, I'm gonna do it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, of course, I want to get 3 things you would tell new or thinking about it homeschool families. Some words of advice, encouragement, inspiration, whatever it may be. But 3 things that you would want to leave them with.
It's way easier than you think. You do not have to follow a structure, and go with your gut and your intuition, on how you move forward, with doing things.
Look straight,
Like,
straight like that.
yeah, because like, Amish kids don't go to school after 8 years old. They
Mm.
come home and they learn the home life. The girls learn how to cook, clean, sew. The boys learn how to build well. So school is not even a thing after 8 years old in the Amish community. And I was even telling my husband that I might do the same thing with our children. Like, it's so much stuff that I learned in school that I'm not using.
Indeed, academics can only take you but so far, especially if you're not going into college or, things of that nature. That's why it's really
Yeah,
important to tap into what it is that they're passionate about and then grow them from there. Because if
yep.
college is a goal, then by all means work towards that. But if college isn't a goal, then, what are y'all doing? Why are we spending
You're
so
beating a
much
dead
time?
horse.
Why are we on trigonometry? Why are we learning trigonometry? Like, don't ask me about that type of stuff. We're not going to do that if you're not trying to go and to the next level as far as school go. And it's not meant for everyone. So
Yeah.
that's what parents definitely have to realize. Your child does not have to go to college for them to reach a level of success. Like my mama told me a couple weeks ago, you got all them degrees and you ain't doing nothing with them. You are absolutely right, because I'm doing what makes me happy, what makes me feel good, what makes me feel free. All that matters to me. So big emphasis on do what works for you and your family. And I love that you share so
Correct.
much of you and your family. Definitely please tap into her Monday meditations if you're on the East Coast, 7 a.m. on Zoom. They can find that link on your website.
So they can sign up on my website, and then I send the link out, because I try to be careful so men can't get in, because it's like a no men zone. So I send the links out, but I do have a text line, 757-997-5683. It's 997 love.
Okay.
So 997 love, 757-997 love is the text line. And they can text me and say, hey, I want to join your Sacred Sister Circle, and I will immediately send them the Zoom link. That's also my open phone line for women who just need advice, women who need somebody to talk to. And I tell them if they need homeschool advice, regular advice, mom advice, parenting advice, I don't care what type of marriage advice, relationship advice, whatever type of advice you need, that's what that line is for. I typically respond to that line from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sometimes you might catch me responding after 5 p.m., especially if I got the phone in my hand. But I do focus on my family after 5 o'clock. So if I don't respond that evening, then I always respond by the very next morning. And I'm just building that up, just letting people know that they do have a safe space. They do have someone out here that supports them. They do have someone that I'm very non-judgmental. Even if I've never been through it, I'm not going to clutch my pearls when you tell me something. I'm going to really try to understand, where you are and why you're there, and help you get through it. It is not my place to judge you. It is not my place to make you feel like you don't have a safe space to speak to someone. Because people really do need safe spaces.
Yes,
They're
ma'am.
important.
They need support. That's
And
what it's
I never
about.
had a safe space, which is I was just talking to my therapist about it, because she's like, why do you feel the necessity to be people's safe space? Because I never had one.
Yes.
And she said that makes sense. That makes sense. Like I've always been the person to stand up for the person getting bullied. I've always been the person, that's just who I am. Like I'm not gonna let people get taken advantage of.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate you for that. And that support is so important. So important. And I really appreciate, like I tell you all the time, I really love all that you're doing, because it's so important. It is so
I love
important.
all that you're doing, and I love you.
Thank you. I love you.
Yes. And I'm going to keep spreading your message. I'm going to keep spreading your app. I'm going to keep pushing homeschool. And I'm actually coming out with a lot more content. My husband is getting more involved in my content creation, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Even him, like wanting to be a part of the content creation and starting his own social medias, things that he just wasn't into. Seeing him get passionate about it and seeing him get out here in the community and help me with things is exciting. And I know that we're only going up from here.
Yes,
we're only going up. We're only going up.
What's your social media? No, of course not.
Instagram, Self-Care Satoria. Facebook, Self-Care Satoria Holland. www.loveyoulouder.org. It has links to everything. You can literally find me. And if you can't find me, go to my website, email me. I will respond.
Yes.
I'm not one of those business owners that's not going to respond to you, or I'm too busy to respond to you. I respond to everybody. I've always been told that that's my problem. I make everyone a priority. Everybody's important. Like I'm that person that feel that it's a necessity to reply to everybody's comment. I gotta reply to everybody.
I just did that this morning.
And
that's
people
why
say,
I say on social media.
People say when you do that, you make yourself look accessible. I am accessible to a degree. I want to be accessible. I don't want people to feel like, oh, she thinks she better than me. Like I'm not. I'm not.
Nah, nothing about this conversation has said that.
Yeah, if you think that I'm better than you, then that's something that you got to work on. And I'd be more than willing to work on that with you.
Yeah.
However, like I really care about other people more than I care about myself, which is why Love You Louder got created, because I had to start putting me first. I had to start telling
Yes.
myself that self-care isn't selfish. Putting yourself first isn't selfish. Setting boundaries is not selfish. What selfish was me not looking out for myself.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna be that voice. I will not shut up, as
Nisha.
yeah, my domestic violence friend
Yes,
Nisha,
yes,
I will not shut up. I will advocate for self-care, you know, until there's no more breaths left in me.
yes.
I will advocate for us healing until there's no more breaths left in me. And I even have another podcast interview coming up, and I sent him a picture of me, and it was a group picture, and he was like, "Why did you send me a group picture versus sending me a picture of you by yourself?" And I said, "Because I'm nothing without these women around me supporting me. I'm nothing, nothing." Okay, I can make it about myself all day long, but that's not who I am. And for the longest time, because I'm this light skinned girl with long hair, people put me on this pedestal that I didn't even ask to be on, and they say, "Oh, she thinks she's all that." No, you think I'm all that.
Yes,
I actually have insecurities myself.
yes,
I'm a human
ma'am.
being myself. So don't put me somewhere and make me feel bad because my light scares you. And I'm
Yes,
able to
ma'am.
speak that to people now. Like when girls try to call me out and be mean to me, I be like, boo, it's you. It's you. It's you. And I can still be your friend, but it's you. It's not
Yes,
me. I
yes,
didn't do
ma'am.
anything to you because I'm a very humble person. I'm a very, very, very humble person. Like I don't live in I own my house, but I don't live in this big elaborate mansion. It's coming one day, but I don't live above my means either. And that's something else that I show people in the community. Like, you do not have to keep up with other people to live
Mm.
a beautiful life. I live in a $180,000 home. My mortgage is $1,100 a month. Like, I don't, like, I'm not out here living above my means. I'm not out here, and it's nothing but love in my home.
Yes, ma'am.
It's nothing but pure unconditional love, happy moments. Like, there's not a moment. Yesterday I was laughing at my son because I went out on my porch for 20 minutes. And I came back in the house and he was like, "Mom, I missed you. I missed you
Oh,
so much." And I was like, "I was just on the porch for 20 minutes," like, but it's that you can't fake that. You
yes,
can't fake that, And so I'm just so appreciative to finally have everything that I truly desire.
nice. That
And I
is
just
so
want to show other people
beautiful.
that they can have it too.
Yes, thank you. You are being the change, and I love it, breaking so many generational cycles that don't need to carry on. You're doing it. You are definitely doing it. And I'm always tell you and give you your flowers. People say your flowers. I'm gonna always tell you,
Yo,
I
flowers.
appreciate you. Yes, ma'am. You are so appreciated and so needed. And I just love everything that you're doing. And I know we'll partner some more in the future, and I look forward to that. We are going to come back to Virginia for
Yes.
the expo next year. So we'll talk more
Yes,
on
and I and
that.
I love to be way more involved. So, just let me know. Thank you for
Yes.
reaching out to me this year to be a part of it. But, I know that advocating from a completely different state, I'm here. I'm your muscle. Whatever you
Yes.
need done, whatever I find, I'm gonna bring it together for you, and it helps us all.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am. Thank
you
you.
you got me here. You got me here in Virginia as your what's the word, liaison.
Yes, I know. And you introduced that to me, and I was like, oh, shucks, I should get those, huh? Like, okay, I like that. Thank
Yep.
you for
You should
that.
have a
Like,
liaison in every you should have a liaison in every state.
that's
Every
what I'm
state you
working
should
on
have
for this
somebody.
for 2024. I'm definitely working from that angle, definitely. So I appreciate
And
you
I
for
got you,
that.
and I will get you some liaisons from some other states. You watch me.
Thank you. Thank you. Watch me. Yes. Don't believe me, just watch. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for your beautiful energy and just your
Thank
straightforward
you.
talk of everything and sharing your experience of your life with everyone and just being so transparent is you doing it. Like you doing it. So Listeners, I appreciate you for tuning in. Please remember that this is not something you have to do on your own. And that's why I was so excited about this conversation, because I want definitely single moms, I'm coming from a single mother's perspective, to know that you are supported and there are organizations, businesses, people out here for you to do this as a community, not by yourself. So understand that the resources are there. You just got to keep researching and doing your part in making sure that you open and make yourself accessible, and don't shut down or go inside the house and think that, oh, we just going to be here by ourselves. No, homeschool is not a journey you have to do alone. So please tap in. Please reach out to Satoria. She is beautiful and she is definitely here to help. But thank you. Homeschool your kids.
Homeschool your kids.